Hey, what about the concerns of our law enforcement agencies? If we legalize hemp, it might increase the domestic supply of marijuana. However, none of the 29 hemp-producing countries in the world have had that happen. Or someone might sneak into a hemp field and plant marijuana. Well, A, hemp has over 300 plants per square meter. The quarter-inch stalks are very tough. You cannot walk, run, or crawl into a hemp field. And B, hemp grown for fiber is cut before it flowers, 5 to 6 weeks before. So marijuana with the hemp would be off to the fiber factory before it matures. And C, pollen from hemp being grown for seed will suppress the THC production of marijuana crops within a 7 to 10 mile radius. Hemp is nature's own marijuana eradication system, declares James Woolsey, director of the CIA under President Bush Sr. and now a lobbyist for the hemp industry. It is puzzling that the DEA still expresses concern over a perceived problem that their colleagues in 29 other countries have reported no trouble handling. Maybe these are the real concerns. If we legalize hemp, 1, the timber, petroleum, and pharmaceutical industries would stand to lose large sums of money. 2, the law enforcement agencies would lose large sums of money. For example, Congress gives the DEA $500 million a year to eradicate marijuana, but according to the DEA's own figures, 98% of the, quote, marijuana eradication by its agents, the police departments and National Guard units it hires, is hemp the harmless, or ditchweed, a variety of industrial hemp that grows wild and has no psychoactive effect. And 3, if we legalize hemp, if they admitted that industrial hemp was completely harmless and actually incredibly beneficial to the country, people might find out that marijuana is not a demon plant either. Then the whole war on drugs might lose its even larger sums of money. What with the expansion of prisons, policing agencies, high-tech helicopters, and other equipment that is feeding the ever-expanding appetite of this war on the demon plant. I believe that there is an enormous amount of evidence that the hidden agenda behind the war on drugs, or the war on marijuana specifically, was and is the destruction of the industrial hemp industry. Steve Cubby, past Libertarian candidate for governor of California, and Peter McWilliams, a Libertarian author, both had prescriptions from qualified doctors for medical marijuana, yet both were prosecuted in California. Steve has cancer and is just back from exile in Canada. Peter is dead. Steve Daschbach said, and I quote, "The federal government killed Peter McWilliams by denying him the medical marijuana he needed to stay alive as surely as if its drug warriors had put a gun to his head and pulled the trigger," unquote. How could anyone explain such a cruel and unusual abuse of the law apart from a hidden agenda? A couple of years ago, 20 tons of bird seed, sterilized hemp seed from Canada, was confiscated by DEA agents in Detroit. Why? When it's always been legal to ship sterile hemp seeds into the U.S. Their reason? Trace amounts of THC resin might be on the hull of the seed. Now this could be dangerous. One writer said, some hemp products do contain trace amounts of THC, as intoxicating as, say, the opiates you get from a poppy seed bagel. A friend of mine visited a country near India a few years ago, and while visiting a small village, he observed the following scene. Government soldiers were burning the fields of hemp near the village. This was a very poor village, and this crop would have supplied the village with clothing, food, oil, medicine, and many other basic needs of the families that lived there. My friend couldn't help but cry as he saw men and women on their knees begging the soldiers to stop burning the hemp fields. It seems that the U.S. government gave large amounts of money to the government of this country, but one of the conditions was that they had to eradicate all forms of, quote, marijuana. Many states today are fighting to legalize industrial hemp because farmers across this nation desperately need a new crop to grow that will help them and their land. Industrial hemp can contribute to the production of over 60,000 products. It can help save our forests. It could feed a famine. It can provide better housing and better health. It can prevent the overuse of pesticides and herbicides. It can help prevent the use of harsh chemicals in paper processing. So why, when it's grown in 29 other countries, is hemp still illegal to be grown in the United States? I believe that the hidden agenda behind the war on drugs, or the war on marijuana specifically, was and is the destruction of the industrial hemp industry. Please join me in the fight to legalize the growing of this wonderful plant, industrial hemp.